We are at the old brick factory where my work Who Speaks from the Dust, Who Looks from the Clay is. Actually, the very first version of this work existed in the previous version of the Biennale that was called My Pupil's Eye is Your Nest, and it was this aquatic line that was flowing from the castle outside the mountain, and then it was reaching out to the city. And the work was linked with this notion of the lost rivers of Prizren, and how the idea of the lost and the invisible resurfaces through very gestural work that draws the city. Following from that piece that became a main reference, I started to retrace the absent river of Prishtina, which compared to Prizren, because of post-industrial growth within the city and the modernization of the city itself, the city started to lose its rivers because of contamination, because of being petrified by being thrown garbage as well as concrete. And whilst looking at all those things, I kind of linked the name of the city. Prishtina means spring. I started to think through this absence of these springs. And then when we first came to the old brick factory, thinking of the idea of the production of brick itself, the absence without the water basically, you cannot form any brick because of the clay cannot be activated, cannot be formed with the absence of the water, but also with the waves of people that this factory has had within all those years since 1947 when the factory was built until 2007, until the factory was closed. So this absence of the waves of people and the petrification, let's say, so-called, of the production itself made me think of how I could activate, I could revocalize the site. And whilst I was researching, I came across to the spot where you see all these arches. Behind these arches is the oven that bakes the bricks. And thinking of this, the inactive of this oven itself made me think of transforming into a spring as a gestural aquatic line that overflows to the other side of the wall and reminds itself as a kind of a surface tension of what the ground used to remember and how bricks used to restructure a city, because all the bricks that were produced over here were used within all the buildings, even in the Yugoslavian time and post-Yugoslavian period, within all the buildings of Pristina. So the work really looks into it in a gestural way to revocalize and to kind of reactivate it with this unexpected flow.